me and Bruce Paisner for this incredible award. I wish I could say that my daily COVID presentations were well choreographed, scripted, rehearsed, or reflected any of the talents that you advance. They didn't. They offered only one thing: authentic truth and stability.
Are you watching his nose grow right there? That's Democratic Governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, giving his acceptance speech for the 2020 International Emmy Founders Award. He ought to get the award for Serial Killer of the Year. Sadly, it's not even really a joke. A new report released by the New York Attorney General, Letitia James — this is a woman that I absolutely despise. She happens to be a fellow Democrat, right? But listen to this. She finds that the New York State Department of Health underreported COVID-19 deaths in nursing homes by as much as 50%. First, it was 8,700. And many people blamed Cuomo for his reckless policy. Remember, Cuomo was the guy that pushed the deadly idea to put infected COVID patients back into nursing homes, only to infect and ultimately kill them. Well, according to the New York Attorney General, that death toll now stands at 13,000. Apparently, Cuomo and his health department weren't counting nursing home patients transported to the hospital where they ultimately died. So now the question is, I wonder if the Hollywood crowd will take notice and change their tune about their so-called America's governor.
To my governor.
Congratulations, Andrew.
Governor Andrew Cuomo, you are the man. What?
I look up to you still. Thank you, Governor.
All right, this is why people despise Hollywood, right? In a way, it makes sense that Governor Cuomo received an Emmy Award. He fooled everyone. Great acting, but a lousy public servant. Well, joining me now, filmmaker and content creator of Fog City Midge, Maggie Vandenberg is here. And also joining me, columnist and contributor at The First, Madison Gesiotto. Maggie, Madison, great to have you both on the program.
Good to be with you. Thank you.
Madison, why don't I start with you first? Governor Cuomo here. It's not just 8,700 deaths. Now it's 13,000 deaths. You know, they had that big ship sitting off Manhattan that they could have been putting patients in, and it sat empty, the naval hospital ship. What do you make of all this, Madison?
Well, I looked at most of that report today, and it was absolutely damning. All 76 pages. I encourage people to go take a look, read some of the report that came out from the Attorney General in New York today. Not only did we see over 4,000 deaths directly attributable to that March 25th order that many of us were talking about, how concerned we were about that back in the spring. And we see people interviewed like Janice Dean over at Fox News, who lost 2 family members as a direct result of this. It's absolutely horrible what the Cuomo administration did in New York. And we're seeing now that not only did they do this, but there's absolutely no accountability. And one of the things most interesting to me in the report is that the Attorney General actually noted having trouble accessing and not ultimately being able to access the full fatality data from the health department there. So I think there's a lot of questions left unanswered, and many people will continue to ask for these as we see those deaths underreported by over 50%.
Yeah, I guarantee you it's true. Maggie, you know, what gets me is the media is going to do everything they can to try to bury this story. You think they ever wake up to the fact that Cuomo did not do this wonderful job that they make him out to, that he had done?
Yeah, it's absolutely unbelievable. And I want to remind everyone, remember when Fauci was saying that New York is the model for how we should be handling COVID? I mean, it's absolutely outrageous, and we need to just stop listening to these people. The fact that they gave Cuomo an Emmy, I mean, it's unbelievable. And I'm so glad that you brought this up, because he really is. He is a good actor, right? But I think that ultimately the truth is going to catch up to these frauds, and I do hope that people wake up and just stop listening to them.
I hope so, too. All right, I want to play for you both a soundbite from a dad who is certainly not an actor. And I think he has captured what all of us are feeling about this idea of schools still shut down, especially when kids are not really coming down with this virus at all. He addressed the county school board in Loudoun County, Virginia. Take a listen.
You're a bunch of cowards hiding behind our children as an excuse for keeping schools closed. The statistics do not lie that the vast majority of the population is not at risk from this virus. The garbage workers who pick up my freaking trash risk their lives every day more than anyone in this school system. Figure it out or get off the podium. Because you know what? There are people like me and a line of other people out there who will gladly take your seat and figure it out.
Don't hide behind our children, he ended up saying, Madison.
I think there are many parents all across this country that share his frustration, that are just simply fed up at this point. I mean, when we look back even to early fall of 2020 of last year, and we see those statistics of those numbers coming true that we feared back when the coronavirus pandemic first started, when it comes to digital learning and it comes to students having a major problem with being able to meet the reading comprehension goals and maintain a lot of those math skills they had when they were back in regular school last spring. Well, now we saw that become a major problem by the time we got to fall, and they'd only missed those few months in spring. Well, now many people have been out of school for almost a year doing digital schooling. Some people don't have the same type of access to tutors, to many of the resources that they need to succeed. So it's really, really disappointing and sad to see. I have family members who have actually been affected by this and just don't do well doing digital learning. They want to be back in school. Their parents want them to be back in school. And so it's hit many people very hard. And I understand his frustration. I would feel the exact same way if my children were out of school as a result of this, still almost a year later.
Let me tell you something. My kid is in and out of school, hybrid learning, not hybrid learning. It's a nightmare. Let me play one more soundbite for you, Maggie. This is Nancy Pelosi complaining about how dangerous it is inside the halls of Congress.
What exactly did you mean when you said that the enemy is within? What exactly did you mean?
It means that we have members of Congress who want to bring guns on the floor and have threatened violence on other members of Congress.
They haven't threatened any violence. And, oh, Maggie, they want to bring guns. I promise you, those Republican congressmen would make the halls of Congress much safer doing that. Maggie, last word, if you can, in 20 seconds.
I agree with you 100%. But also, this is all about making Republicans out to be a threat, a danger, and to keep the rhetoric hot and insane. And, just tonight, AOC went off on an unhinged rant at Ted Cruz online, threatening or saying that Republicans have almost having her killed 3 weeks ago. And I just want to say this is what things are going to look like under the Biden regime.
Yeah, a disaster is what it looks like. Maggie Vandenberg, thank you so much for coming on. Madison Gesiotto, great to see you as well.